Hello and welcome to my new video today. I'm Gergana Radovich, holistic health coach, sleep expert, and EFT trainer. EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. And today, in today's video, I'm going to talk about one of my absolute most favorite topics, and it's sleep. I'm going to talk about sleep. And before I start, let me ask you, what's the quality of your sleep? Do you pay attention how you sleep? What was your last night's sleep? And how you feel general about your sleep pattern? And answering those questions before we continue is really important because the sleep is one of the most important things that we can do. I mean, the good sleep, having good sleep is one of the absolutely most important things that we could do to improve our health, our mental capacity, our emotional balance, our well being in general, and of course, our professional success. So, the topic of sleep is really, really very important, and not many people pay attention. Unfortunately, not many people pay attention to sleep yet, although this is changing. So, in today's video, I'm going to stress a few important things about sleep in order for you to understand better why sleep is important and in order for you to improve your own sleep. How did I come to this topic? Actually, it happened partly by chance and partly not exactly so. Why? Because I started as an aviation instructor many years ago, and I taught pilots and other aviational personnel how to deal with stress, how to communicate better in the crew or in the teams that they were working, how to get better at what they already do in the area of so-called soft skills. Well, in different areas of life, those soft skills have different names, but usually those are the skills that we need to communicate better with others, to manage our workload better, to sleep better, to deal with stress better, and so on. So when I started teaching pilots about stress, communication, so on, error reduction, human factors in general, and so on, inevitably the topic of sleep came to came into my my daily job. Actually, at first I was very, how to say, surprised, probably not so surprised, but I found it interesting from day one. And then after a few years it was absolutely mandatory for all pilots and flying crews, cabin crews, and their management to go through training related to with fatigue management and sleep management. And that's how the topic of sleep became my absolutely favorite thing, and I got really involved in talking about sleep and helping others to improve their own sleep. So let's get back on you. How did you sleep last night and the night before and during the past week? Managing sleep is really important, but before we start managing it, we need to know what's your sleep, what's the quality of your sleep in general. So we talk about sleep problems. I will mention a few of them a little bit later on, but there are we talk everybody has problems with sleep now or then. If you've gone through stressful times, if you have a lot of stress, at work, if your kids ill, or if you went through divorce, if you lost someone, and if you are going through hard, stressful times, it's normal to lose your sleep for some period of time, a night or two, or even several nights. Good morning, Stasi. I'm so happy to see you here today. And let me know, how did you sleep last night? And having troubles with sleep is perfectly normal. But when those sleep problems continue, when you are having troubles with sleeping for more than 3 months, we are then talking about insomnia or kind of problems with sleep, serious issues with sleep. Again, I don't want to freak you out, because insomnia has many different stages, but most of the people, probably, well, a great number of people, I shouldn't say most, but a great number of people nowadays, busy, active, working people, are dealing with some kind of sleep problems. And it's not surprising. We went through different difficult year. Many of us stay at home, work at home, take care of their families at home, cook at home, do everything at home, and this inevitably influences the way we sleep and the quality of our sleep. But researchers recognize, let me put it this way, the sleep medicine recognize over 100 different sleep related issues, and most of the people, these are related with physical body, and apnea is one of them, restless leg syndrome is another one, and so on and so on. But most of the people who struggle, I'm talking about active people between, say, 25 and 55 or 60 years old, they don't have those physical problems or physical issues with sleep, but they can't sleep because they don't allow themselves to sleep, or they deal with too much stress on daily basis in order to go sleep restfully at night. So that's whom I'm talking about today. I'm talking about how to improve your sleep if you don't have any medical condition. And most of the people, active people, I write here, there is research showing, and by the way, it's growing, that shows that around 30%, and mind you, this is before 2020. I think that a few years later, there will be different research taking in mind 2020. But prior to them, around 30% of the people from the so-called developed nations like UK, United States, Japan, Brazil, fast-growing, or the most dominant economies in the world, they have around 30% of their active population having troubles with sleep. Why? Because those people say they don't have time for sleep enough time for sleep, or they say, well, they know sleep is important, but they don't really stress on that importance and kind of try to recognize it. And then they say, these are different answers. I'm citing a huge study here done a few years back. And they say that they have family condition or family situation that prevents them from sleeping well or long enough, and so on. So the main problem for people who experience some kind of problems with sleep, active people, it's not that they have physical condition which prevents them from sleeping. It's that they do not recognize the importance of sleep and doesn't take care of, or doesn't take care of the sleep pattern, or don't pay much attention about the conditions that they are sleeping in, or the conditions that led to have a better night's sleep. And Stacy, back to you again. I'm so happy you had really good, really deep sleep. You know the topic rather well, I guess. And I hope this, what you've learned so far, helped you sleep better and better. And again, back to my questions. What was your sleep? Was it long enough? And here comes the question, what is long enough sleep for you? So how long was your sleep? 6, 7, 9 hours, 8 hours? And do you wake up in the morning by your own, or you were woken up by a clock or by your phone? How did you wake up? This is really important question. And then, how do you feel? Do you feel energized and happy to start the day, or you woke up tired and could go back to sleep again? So these are really important questions to pay attention to if you want to examine better what your sleep looks like. Why? Because I believe that we can improve something only if we know what's the real thing right at this moment. And again, let's talk about the conditions of your bedroom. Was it dark or not so much? Was it quiet or not so much? Do you have your kids or your pets staying with you in your bedroom? Do you find your bedroom to be a sanctuary of peace, or it looks more like a war zone? All these factors matter when we are talking about sleep and the quality of sleep. And when we are talking about sleep problems or issues with sleep, or when we start talking about insomnia, a few things should be mentioned as well. Insomnia has different phases for different people. For some, insomnia is they go to bed and they can't fall asleep for a long period of time. Once after they fall asleep, they can sleep till the morning or even later. For others, they fall asleep really fast and then they wake up in the middle of the night and can't go back to sleep anymore, or go back to sleep in the early morning hours when they should be getting up anyway. And I've seen clients who came to me and said, I had these problems. I had problems with sleep for 20 or even 10 or 20 years. I've tried everything, prescriptions, dark room, doctors, everything. I don't have any medical condition. I don't have any physical condition, and yet I can't sleep. And I remember one very severe case when she came. She was a woman, of course, and she came and said, I haven't slept for 20 years for more than an hour each night. I just lay with my eyes closed. And I have to tell you, this is very stressful. And I was really impressed. You could go you could do that for 20 years Seriously, it's really, really important topic for many of us. Why? Because sleep influences every single cell, tissue, process, organ in our body and in our mind. Sleep helps us improve physical, well, recover first and then improve physically, emotionally, mentally, and with lack of enough sleep, we can't really show our true potential. And lack of sleep leads to severe medical conditions. I'm not going to go here into this, but just mentioning it because it worth mentioning. And when I believe that if you if your absolute maximum is right here, when you had your good night's sleep, when you are not sleeping well for a couple of days or even more, imagine 20 years, your true your potential that you show to yourself and to the world on daily basis is right here. And then if you have a few nights of one or a few nights of good sleep, you go back here, and these people those people can't really imagine how good it felt to be right there at their own level of maximum potential. And let's go back to the sleep problems. So when we are talking about insomnia, there are different types of insomnia, as I mentioned: having troubles falling asleep, having troubles staying asleep, or waking up too early in the morning. And there are different things that you can do to help with that, or there are different remedies, and some of them work better than others. I believe that every person has her or his own best cure, so to speak. But in order to find that, we need to try different things and we need to experiment. And as I'm saying, trying, I mean really things that are either scientifically proved or empirically proved. I mean, a lot of people have seen benefits from that. Because if you search online, you can find a lot of really suspicious advices. And I'm not talking about this. So go back to the proven result, to the proven remedies actually. So some suggest you can try meditation, you can try exercising, you can try better eating, you can try, well, not try, but you should make your bedroom darker, more quieter. You should arrange the space so it's pleasing to the eyes and it's pleasing to be there, to stay there, to feel calmer and not angrier, and so on. So those are really very important things to do, and we should absolutely start with that, with the bedroom, with the darkness of that bedroom. And what I have found to be really useful for my clients and for myself as well is that you need to know what's the actually the what is the nature of sleep, what are sleep phases, when is the best time for you to fall asleep and to wake up. So if you, at least for me, for my clients, if you learn more about the physiology of sleep, you would be better at managing it, but it's not enough. I know people who are really proficient at knowing certain things, but not so great in applying them. And this comes with absolutely true for sleep. And then another thing that's really important, in my opinion, my opinion in my practice, is that you have to find, if you find yourself having troubles falling asleep, staying asleep, if you really feel tired after waking up and anxious and nervous prior going to bed and after getting out of bed, it's very good it's very good practice to try some meditation. And here comes my absolutely most favorite tool for managing sleep, and it's EFT, or tapping. And tapping is really a simple procedure. Let me show you something real quick here, and if you need personal help with that, you can reach out to me, and we can see what can be done in your case. By the way, if you like this video so far, please share it with your friends and invite them to join us here on Coaching Crew International. So let's start with, I'm giving you a real quick example. And in my next videos, I'm going to talk more about what is tapping, what is EFT in general. But here, just if you find yourself having problems with sleep, just go along with me and see the difference for yourself. So let's start from the side of the hand. It doesn't really matter which hand. And say out loud the problem that bothers you most. For example, I can't fall asleep at night. So we are going to state this a couple of times, 3 times actually. Even though I can't fall asleep at night, I'd love to accept myself. Even though I'm having troubles falling asleep at night, I'm a good person and I would love to love and accept myself. And one more time. Even though it's hard to fall asleep at night, I'm a good person and I deserve to sleep well every night. And then tapping on the top of the head, I can't fall asleep at night. Base of the eyebrow, I can't fall asleep. Side of the eye, it's really hard to fall asleep at night. Under the eye, nothing worked. Under the nose, I've done so many things. Nothing worked. On the chin, it's so hard to not be able to sleep, not be able to fall asleep. Under the collarbone, or I like to tap here with my whole hand, just tap and repeat. It's so hard to not be able to sleep. Under the arm, doesn't matter which one, it's so hard to not be able to fall asleep at night. And then we tap at the base of each fingernail. Just tap here. It's so hard to go to bed and can't sleep. Pointer. It's so stressful to not be able to sleep. Middle finger. I feel so stressed out. Ring finger. It's so hard to not be able to sleep. Pinky. It's so hard for me every single night. And let's do one more round. Top of the head. It's so stressful. Eyebrow. I can't sleep at night. Side of the eye. and it wears me under the eye. I can't fall asleep, under the nose, and I'm afraid this is bad for my health. On the chin, I can't really fall asleep. Under the collarbone, I can't fall asleep. It's so hard. Under the arm, I can't fall asleep. On the thumb, it's so hard and it stresses me out. On the pointer, it's so hard, but I like to release the tension. On the middle finger, it's so hard, but I choose to release the tension. Ring finger, I release the stress and the fear and the worriness. Pinky, I choose to let it all go. Take a deep breath, inhale, exhale. One more, inhale, exhale. And this is a very simple practice. And if you try it and do it each night before bed or even after you've gone to bed, you will feel and continue tapping like this until you state all the negative emotions that you relate to your problems with sleep. I guarantee you that with practice, you will feel better, less stressed, and you will fall asleep faster and you'll sleep longer and deeper. And let me share with you a few stories here. I have a friend that I showed her how to do EFT a couple of years ago. She was going through stressful time in her life and she couldn't really sleep well. She shared with me that she couldn't sleep at all for several weeks. So her sleep was very fragmented and she felt bad about this, physically, emotionally, in every possible way. So we did with her some EFT. We did with her one session, actually. It was around 60 minutes. And we talked about her problems. And we tapped through all this stuff. And then next week, she called me and told me, after this one session, I slept like a baby. And I gave her something to do on her own. So she did, I just met her the other week and she shared this with me. She said, I've done this your one specific EFT meditation. I've done it 3 times and I've slept like a baby since. I've been sleeping like a baby since then, a few years ago to now. So tapping is really, really, really important. I mean, it's really important to try EFT or tapping if you're having troubles falling asleep or staying asleep. Again, one other client, I would like to share her story as well. She came to me in November 2019 and she said, look, I have this physical condition, chronic illness. It's under control, or it was until 2 months ago. And now I freak out that it's going to worsen and that I can't manage it anymore. And let me tell you, she was young, beautiful, vital woman, around 30. And she had this chronic condition, but she managed it pretty well with diet, with exercise, with sleeping well, taking good care of herself. And then because of a crisis, she had the condition reappeared again, And that's why she came to me. Because she said, when she came, she said, I freak out. Literally, that were her words. I freak out that it's going to get really worse, and it prevents me from sleeping well. And when I can't sleep, it's getting worse. And I am absolutely helpless to stop that. So we started, she got in my 6-month programs and coaching programs, and we did our first session there. And she called me on the next day and said, you can't believe this. I can't believe this. And she said, that were that that were those were her words. But she said, for the first time in a few months, last night I slept 8 hours, because for the past few months I couldn't sleep more than 2-3 hours, and I was really terrified. So she stayed in my program for 6 months, and it was during the COVID time, actually. And even though she came with anxiety, with sleep issues, with worries about her physical condition, she slept like a baby during the hardest times, and she had her anxiety under control, and she was healthier, happier, and more peaceful when she used EFT and other things that I, so to speak, advise her to do. But the main thing was doing EFT tapping daily, especially about sleep and stress release. So I know from personal experience, I do EFT daily for myself. And especially when I have anxiety, kind of anxiety symptoms, or I'm stressed, or I can't sleep at night, because it happens even to me. And that's why I suggest it to everyone. And that's why, if you are having problems with insomnia, if you can't sleep well, if you have too much stress in your life right now, or if you have too much going on in your life right now, it's a good time to search for help, and it's a good time to work with someone. And if you liked what you saw so far, and if you like to know more about your own personal sleeping pattern, if you'd like to improve your sleeping pattern, if you like to go to sleep and fall asleep easy every night, and you'd like to improve your life and health in general, please contact me. We'll schedule a free call, and we'll talk about what you'd like to achieve, and we'll talk about how you can do that. I'm Gergana Radovich. I'm so happy to be with you today, and please share this video if you like it. If you'd like it with your friends, share it, ask questions, contact me, post comments, and let's build together your healthier, happier, more positive version. It was all from me for today. See you in my next video. Bye bye.